First was the Chopin, and this was projected with a very strong sense of personal engagement, of assurance and ease, and those qualities came across positively. One had the impression of a strong musical understanding and intelligence at work and communicating the style and idiom of the music. Judgment of intervals was not always consistent. There were some intonation issues, mostly at the top end of the range, and these had an effect on the overall musical outcome, but detracted little from the performance. Next was the Chanson, and again this was a piece which was well handled, particularly in terms of the overall management of this long structure. This is a concerto. The candidate played 2 movements, and there are different episodes in this music where there needs to be careful transition and managing of corners from one section to the next, stepping in and out of different roles, and these were aspects of the performance which came through strongly. In terms of the delivery, there were some blemishes in terms of consistency of tone quality, particularly at extremes of the range, and this did affect the composure and impression from place to place, but didn't have a significant effect on the overall musical outcome. Finally, we heard the Fauré, and here there was, again, a strong sense of connection to the music. It was, in terms of the interpretation, there was a sense of good, strong musical understanding, of a clear stylistic concept, and perhaps above all, of wholehearted involvement in the performance. There was some wavering intonation in areas, and I think particularly here that had an effect on some of the phrases at the top of the range. But overall, the impression of this performance was of strong engagement and good projection. Now the performance is finished, we've heard all the pieces. It's time to step back and consider the performance as a whole in overall terms. And we do that under the headings of communication, interpretation, and delivery. And in summary, we could say that communication and interpretation were of a stronger, higher quality than the delivery of the performance. Communication in terms of projection of a musical personality, of musical understanding, of engagement with the music, you and your audience, that came across as wholehearted and consistent throughout the programme. And thinking about the programme, it's an interesting point that actually these were three pieces broadly of similar style. They were all from the Romantic era and of a similar genre too, and perhaps not all from necessarily the same country, but all romantic in their spirit as well. So in terms of range of interpretation and the potentialities of this programme, quite a narrow band. And so although it was consistent, we perhaps didn't have scope to hear the full range and potential different sound worlds, different sonorities of the instrument. That's something worth bearing in mind when you put a program together. To what extent does it enable you, give you the full range, in a sense, of possibilities on the instrument to demonstrate what you can do? But within the constraints of what we heard, those three relatively narrow band of pieces, that was consistent. And in terms of delivery, we've noted as the pieces went through that there was this thread of issues relating to intonation and to some extent to tone control. And for those reasons, bringing everything out in balance, this will come out as a merit performance.